Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Also, make sure you look down in the description for some Jac and Glen merch. Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode number 7. We get the couples who get to come move in together.
It's taken so long to get here. 7 episodes just to get to the move-in.
I'm not mad. It just give us more content. But we're in the move-in day. We're moving day. Man, let's. Who do we want to start with?
All right, let's keep it simple. Let's start with Ryan and Brett. Brett and Ryan.
Brett and Ryan. Whatever you want to say.
So Ryan says he's looking forward. He's been looking forward to being married. He's excited about move-in day and living together. And they're talking about packing up what she should bring and everything. And he was like, just bring 2 months worth of stuff. Don't overdo it. You know, because we're only going to be here for 2 months.
We're going to be here for 2 months.
And he just brings the necessities. Like, so she's trying to figure out what I'm bringing. She says she's nervous. She's used to doing her own thing. Mm-hmm. And now she realizes I got to put somebody else in the mix. I got to consider somebody else. So, and then the other thing is their concern is they got these dogs. And will the dogs get along?
Will the dogs get along? And I think that's a big concern for everybody who have animals, to see if their animals will match up. We saw last season Haley and Jake try to match their dogs up. It didn't work out. Well, they didn't match up neither, so it doesn't make a difference. So the Haley and Jake. But one thing before we can get there, even at the airport, it seemed like the plane ride was a little bit better than it was going. He still had to worry about. She had some apprehension on the plane ride, but it wasn't as bad. He didn't act like he was dealing with a child as he did the first time. So they're, getting together and trying to navigate this thing. And I think Ryan just wanted to be at home. He felt more comfortable. I think the honeymoon was kind of awkward for him because we saw in this episode he opened up a little bit more. He showed a little bit more personality. He talked a little bit more. Maybe he just got comfortable with the cameras, don't know, but either way Ryan showed a lot more and expressed a lot more in this episode. Yeah.
And the other thing I want to point out is like he said he's excited to get on with it and living together, but later on he does say that he hasn't lived with somebody for 15 years.
Yeah.
And he's excited, but he knows he has that to get used to. So the same kind of apprehension she has, that okay, I got to put somebody else in my space, in my thought process, is the same thing he has to go through, and maybe more so. And like you said, they had to get the dogs together, so they went to her place, and as they always do, and kind of get a feel of what the other person lives like. And he walks in, he's like, it's a lot of color. It's nice and bright, and you got these paintings and stuff, and everything. And
you can tell she's a school teacher. She even has some of her student stuff. Yeah,
she got some of her student stuff. Lots of pictures.
Yeah.
And so then of course he meets Baxter.
Yeah.
Baxter's the little dog.
Right.
So then they go to his place.
Right. But think about Baxter. Baxter's the old dog.
Oh yeah, Baxter's old. Yes.
But he has a lot of energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was like talking about the dog parkour. Oh, Baxter has a whole room to himself.
Yeah.
At her place. So he's used to jumping around and jumping off of stuff.
Yeah, Baxter has ADHD for dogs.
For dogs.
Baxter needs a little bit of medicine.
Yeah, so she goes to his place, and the main thing they want to do before she goes in is get the dogs acquainted with each other. So Baxter's in the car, and he goes to get Maisie. And so basically Maisie is a big Baxter. They got the same kind of, they're different breeds of dog, obviously, but they look very similar. Yeah. And one is small and one is big. And Maisie's the big one, the younger one, Baxter's older. So they meet outside, kind of get along for a minute, and then Baxter's like, yeah.
I'm done playing. I'm done sniffing you, I'm done playing. And she started growling. Yeah. And so Baxter had to go to timeout and get put in the car.
Yeah. While she went up to check out his place. So in contrast to Brett's place, Ryan's place, she was like, it's nice. It obviously looks like a single man lives here. She was like, it's like 12 shades of brown. But she says I can help him with that.
Leave dudes alone.
But I expected that. I really did.
You don't think dudes can't decorate homes? I mean, there's some guys who actually pretty good with it. I didn't think it looked too bad. Maybe because I'm a guy.
No, I didn't say it looked bad, but it was definitely plain.
Yeah, simple life. It's the simple life. But he had 3
what
floors.
Wasn't simple. Yeah, and we came to the conclusion he didn't actually live. He doesn't live in a house. It's more like a townhouse, condo type of thing. But it arranged very nice, and so she goes upstairs to his room and there's a freaking deer head on on the wall in his bedroom. Like, I've seen people that have deer heads in their house, but not in their bedroom.
A lot of my friends have deer heads in their homes.
Right, but is it in their bedroom?
I've never been in my friend's bedroom.
All right, so that tells me.
I'm sure that throughout the house of my friends.
But where you've seen it, it wasn't the bedroom. Is my point.
But I know a lot of hunters who hunt collect deer heads, especially based off the points. You know, you got a nice buck. Of course, it may not be in the bedroom. Nobody wants to wake up.
That's my whole point.
Or doing their business and have a deer looking at them.
No, that was just. And the funniest part to me was she was like, "Did you kill that?" He was like, "Yeah. Why would I have a deer on the wall that I didn't kill?
Obviously, she knows nothing about hunters.
She said that, but my thing, this is what I said. I was like, but at the same time, why would you have a deer on your wall that you killed?
Because it's a trophy. It's a trophy.
Listen. It's a house that's near us. They got a trophy too, but they don't have the heads. They just got the antlers. Like, can we just have that?
It's not a cabin. I mean, in the cabin, you might have the antlers just on the wall, whatever the case may be. But
the house near us is not a cabin. But
look, there are people who like to keep their hair as trophy.
Just fact of the matter is, I don't think she's gonna be moving in his place after the fact, and definitely not with the deer on the wall.
But he did say that the deer head he can move it if she has an issue.
Do.
If she has an issue with it. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I don't, like I said.
But this just
I haven't hunted in a year, so.
Yeah, this just brings out the point that she talks to Pastor Cal a little bit later. It's like, we're different when it comes to that. I'm not country. I'm not into hunting. I'm not into country music. Yeah. You know. But at the same time, we have these differences, but I still can see how, we get along or whatever.
I mean, there's some hunters who really preach that. My grandfather was a hunter. He never really brought deer heads to him. Now, he brought deer home, and my grandmother cooked them, and we cleaned them.
That's what I'm saying. Bring the venison home, and that's the proof. That's your reward. We get to eat it. Don't put it on the wall.
Well, I don't think my grandmother would let my grandfather put the deer head on the wall.
No, she wouldn't. She absolutely wouldn't.
She wouldn't. I don't think she would go for that.
So, no offense to y'all hunters out there that might be, like, I'm just like, and the people that don't eat meat. Like, we would eat venison.
I don't mind it. I don't mind either one, eating venison or having a deer head on the wall. I just don't hunt like that anymore, so. My friends do though.
Thank God. So Pastor Cal visits, and he's trying to get a gauge of how's it going so far. And again, Ryan's like, she's so cool. I didn't think, we get along so well, so fast. And he was like, I would absolutely hang out with her outside of this process. Like, she's cool people. Yeah. He said we take each other's banter well. So apparently they're doing a little bit more than Mirla and Gil. The little back and forth.
But I mean, the back and forth is great. I think when you are in a relationship, because guess what? They're not just building a marriage here. They're building a friendship. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're building a friendship, you have to have banter. Like, we go at each other all the time. You talk about my mama, but we keep it simple. We keep it nice. We keep it loving. I may say things about your mama, but again, it is nice banter. We laugh and joke about each other, so it's all good.
She said he's got a dry sense of humor, but she gets it.
We can see the dry sense of humor from him.
Yeah, they give each other little jabs, but they take it in stride or whatever. And she says, I know it hasn't been that long, but I feel so comfortable with him. I feel like I can relax, like I can trust him. Like
right.
He's cool. He says she's nothing. He's nothing like she's ever dated before, and same with him.
Yeah.
And of course, they talked to Pastor Cal about the deer on the wall, and like I said before, how they're different when it comes to the country things, but they get along and they like that.
And they different. I mean, we talked about it on last show. They're different politically too, but again, you can still have a relationship with somebody. Everything in the relationship, everything in the marriage is not going to be the same. Where you're going to be different. They're going to be different things people like because we were brought up different. You know, he was brought up a little bit in the country, and she was brought up more suburban type life, whatever case may be. And she didn't do that. So again, just because there are differences don't mean it's not going to work out.
Right.
You're not going to get a perfect mate. I don't think people coming on the show, people come on the show expecting to get somebody perfect or everybody checks the box. You're not getting everything that checks the box on this show. Even if you watch the show, you should know that you're not getting everything that checked on your box. Mm-hmm. So.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Pastor Cal asked them, how's the affection going? What's up with that? And they're showing each other affection. Ryan says, we haven't gotten real crazy or rushed into anything. So,
Pascal.
Of course, the question is, have you had sex? What's crazy? Which we know. No, we haven't had sex. And Pastor Cal's like, that's fine. That's not what this is about. It's about, are both of y'all comfortable at the pace that you're going? That's what it should be in any relationship. You don't want it but that was fake. I was going to say like Ryan and Clara. That was fake though, where she was trying to act like she was sexually frustrated. Come to find out they was having sex. But anyway, you want if you're going at a slower pace, are both of y'all comfortable with that? Is everybody okay with it? And so that's what Pastor Cal asks. Are y'all happy with the level of intimacy? And she says yes. For her, it's fine. For him, he says, yeah, it's slower than I'm used to, but it is growing. Mm-hmm. Pastor Cal's like, how quickly are the feelings advances? And she said they haven't really talked about it. Pastor Cal's like, y'all haven't talked about it, which I think is odd. You know, that you wouldn't be like, you know what, I really like you. And she says in that space, I'm crushing on my husband. I'm crushing on him.
Yeah, she's feeling him. I mean, the conversation that they have off camera and the little touching they do have, they haven't had any really blow-ups that we've seen. So I believe they are vibing. Even with the dog situation, he did say that she kind of blow things out of proportion if she doesn't relax a little bit. Yes. That she does need to relax in situations, and she takes things, she's high strung, and things go from 0 to 60. Not Michaela type 0 to 60, when we get to that later, but she gets anxiety, or she's real nervous about things and want things really to work out. And that could be, to me, might be a potential issue later on in the relationship, because she maybe gets so caught up or worked up about a situation or something that is going to cause friction between the two.
Right, but like from the last episode, the one thing she did say is, even at this point, he has a way of, he can calm her down already. He's already figured out how to kind of ground her. So that'll help.
But I mean, in relationships, sometimes you don't need to ground a person. You need to check yourself before you even get to that point.
But she obviously don't know how to do that, or else she wouldn't still be acting.
I know, but, I mean, it's good that he is able to handle it and deal with it.
Yeah. So she says she's in like with Ryan. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm feeling the same way. She says we kind of passed that point of like. And Pastor Cal's like, well, what's the point past like? To love. And so his question to Ryan is, have you ever been in love before? And he was like, yeah, I think I have. I'm like, bro, you 30-something. You should know. But he's, I think I have. What's love? It's like when I'm putting this person before me, I'm more concerned about this person. Like I can't see them not being without them, blah, blah. And so, it's like, I'm not there yet with her. Yeah. And which is fine. The production kind of tried to make it like she was like, oh my God, you're not. But you wouldn't expect somebody to be there with you.
8 days, 10 days, in between 8 to 10 days. I mean, in 8 to 10 days, if you love somebody like that, in 8 to 10 days, I think there's an issue though. I really do. I know you spend it 24/7 with each other and all that, but 8 to 10 days, no. Yeah,
but overall, Brett and Ryan, pretty uneventful.
Yeah.
They're no sparks. We don't see the sparks. Maybe it is off camera, but we don't see like
fireworks. I see a couple who are getting to know each other, and they're taking it at their own pace, and they're enjoying each other's company. Are they a Woody and Amani? No. Are they a Jake and Haley? No. They're somewhere in the middle where they're learning each other. They're not a Beth and Jamie where you got fireworks all the place. I mean, let's be honest. Deanna and Greg didn't really have sparks neither. They were kind of slow and they had to create some things. Jessica and Austin didn't really have sparks neither. They were kind of a boring type couple. So, I mean, in this case, boring may be good. At least they're working things out and having a conversation.
Yeah. So. All right. Who do you want to talk about?
Let's go to Mirla and Gil.
Okay. Mirla and Gil.
Mirla and Gil.
All right. Okay, so the opening, Gil is funny. His thing, this is his thing. He's trying to make it a tradition. So they go into the apartment and he carries her. Oh, hold on, wait. I gotta carry you over the threshold. And so he's like, I carried her over the threshold into the honeymoon suite. The wedding night, the honeymoon suite, into the apartment. He was like, and if we go to our own place after this, I'll carry her over there. And meanwhile, I don't know if she told him, but she was like, it's corny.
Yeah, it's corny.
It's awkward. I don't want it. Meanwhile, he says, I'm going to do it.
But she goes along with the flow, though.
Yeah, she
goes
does.
along. She doesn't make a big deal out of it. And it's kind of sensitive. It's kind of... I thought you were only supposed to do it the night you get married. I didn't think you did it every time you went to a new place.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen it before, but I don't know. I don't know what the tradition is, really. I thought it was... Traditionally, it's after you get married and you come to your home. It's not even necessarily the honeymoon.
No, when you come to your home.
Yeah.
So then if he comes to your home, then he was right here. This is their home together.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. But she was funny to me. She like.
Yeah. Because the other thing is, Gil already knows, okay, my wife is kind of picky and particular. So it was interesting, you know, he's watching how she's reacting to the apartment. And she's like, oh, it's nice. I like it. I like the view. I like this. I like that. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm happy that she's happy about the place because then I ain't got to hear about it.
Otherwise, it's one less argument we got to deal with. I ain't got to hear her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They put him in a nice spot. The Latitude luxury apartments in Houston, Texas. Hey.
Yeah. And, you know, she's like, oh, it's this, is that. And he was like, you know what? I could do with a lot less. Obviously. You know.
Look. I understand that he could do it a lot less. And he might be a minimalist. Or he may not make whatever the case may be. Don't complain about doing it. I don't need to keep hearing that you can do a lot less. You're not paying for it.
Right.
Enjoy the apartment.
Right.
Just like on her end, she wasn't paying for it and she didn't like it. Look, enjoy the point. I mean, let's not keep bringing up, oh, I could do it a lot less. You're not going to do it a lot less. This is your wife. Y'all married right now. So guess what? She has a standard. You have a standard. Y'all going to have to find a middle ground standard. So you can't draw her to your level in this essence, in this place, if maybe she want to bring you up to hers, but you don't want to go up. So you can't bring her down here. And if you're not willing to go up to hers, so it has to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but I don't think at all that he's not willing to go up to hers. Maybe not all the way up to hers, but like meet her halfway. So he was just saying, yes, the apartment is nice. I've done with less. So back to the comment that she had before, he's learned how to be content in whatever state he's in.
Yes.
That's how Gil is. He was like, I'm gonna be happy as long as I got a roof over my head, type of thing.
Yeah, because it came from humble beginnings.
Yeah. The only thing she did say was, oh my gosh, the bed's kind of small. Was that a queen? And he was like, I knew it had to be something. Basically, that's what he was like. I knew it was gonna be something. But considering everything, just to complain about the bed, hey.
I'm sure that hotel room they was in didn't have a king bed on the vacation. Might have did.
No, I think it did.
Okay.
But anyway, so they first go to her place, and he's looking at her decor and her pictures on the wall and stuff. And the one thing he knows is she had a lot of pictures of herself. And she said, I have pictures of my trip. And he was like, oh, okay, I get it. So you don't just have pictures of the places. It's like a memory. Oh, I was in front of the Colosseum, the Parthenon, the
waterfall,
Leaning Tower of Pisa. You know, she didn't have that one up, but it's pictures of her in that space, not just that space.
Yeah, and her doing different things. She's an acrobat. She's a fitness queen, so she's doing all kinds of different poses and positions with bikinis and stuff on, and she loves her. She's like T.O. Remember T.O. Owens back in the day? I love me some me. Mm-hmm. She loved her some her.
Yeah. So he kind of looks around her apartment. He's interested to see the clothes and the shoes, and so he goes to her closet, and it's all the Louis Vuitton boxes.
Before we go ahead, was it me or I was expecting more out of her apartment?
No, I was gonna say that. I feel like she kind of. That's why I'm gonna take back. Maybe she's not high maintenance, because you would think with somebody high maintenance, like everything in the apartment would be high end furniture, just elaborate, extravagant decorations, and I didn't see that either.
I didn't see that either.
I didn't see it. I was expecting to see elaborate, extravagantly decorated apartment, but it's probably because she puts most of her money in what she puts on herself,
right?
Which, yeah, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Gucci, Chanel, her red bottoms, and so all these shoes and all these clothes. Even with the clothes, I felt like the way her clothes was in the closet, I was expecting
like some organization type.
Yeah,
like, boom, boom,
a
boom.
walk-in, like, you know, I with all her stuff, but I didn't see that either. So that tells me that, to me, that tells me that her focus is more on what I look like on the outside, when I leave out of here, what people see just on the outside. But, you know, if you come into my place, it's like something totally different.
Yeah, and you know, maybe she don't have the space for it. It was organized. It wasn't junky per se.
No, it wasn't
but
junky.
It was organized in a way, but she just doesn't have the space. If she could get that walk-in closet wherever she's at, or that big space, I think she will be a little bit more organized in that. So,
but again, that says, with the money that you're making, she seemed like to me she could afford a bigger place.
But again, she does save it. So like I said, I'm not saying she's obviously she's not broke.
Yeah.
Right? So she managed her money well. Her brother said that in the previous episodes that they managed well. She saved. She even mentioned it here. She saves. So she's not splurging. She makes a good amount of money, and she likes finer things in life.
Well, she is splurging because he asked about the shoes. Okay, so what's the most that you paid for a pair of shoes? She said, I don't know, $800 to $900. She does have a pair that she said was $1,000, and he was like, okay, so how often do you buy items like this? And she was like, I think she said 2 or 3 times a year. I fail to believe
She said 2 to 3 times a month. He asked her, it's like 2 or 3 times a year. And she like, no, like 2 or 3 times a month.
Oh, God knows I missed the month part.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times a month that she does that. You know.
And he was like, by the time you do that 2 or 3 times a month, like, I could be putting that into something more lucrative, like real estate, you know, or other stuff. You spend it on stuff to put on your feet and on your back.
Again, that's here's the thing. Her mindset is this, and it's not a wrong mindset. She can afford it. She's by herself, and she can get it, right? So that's her. I want to call it guilty pleasure. That's what she likes to do. So there's nothing wrong with that. Now his mindset is, okay, I'm into real estate. I'm into investing. I'm in something that can bring me a rate of return, ROI, right? And so he was like, well, your clothes are going to go down in value. So now he has to be able to teach her or show her the importance of investing in other things. Or can we slide across in as a couple, become a power couple in this area and investing? Not saying that you can't get what you have, but if we get to invest in the real estate, which would yield us more money, then you can also have more of the Prada, the Gucci, whatever case may be. So he has to be able to show her in that way how the plan of real estate and whatever can be more important than just getting it now.
Yeah, but the one thing he did add too, he was like, he said she needs to know that they come before her stuff.
I think they're going to be taking. I'm just thinking they're going to be taken care of. I just feel like if the person makes a lot of money and they're taking care of themselves, when they bring even when we see with Jose and Rachel, when they bring their spouse in, they're not going to not take care of their spouse. You're still going to be taken care of, you know, and that's a whole.
Well, I don't think he said it in the way of being taken care of. It's just knowing that your
her
priorities shift.
Yeah, but her priorities where she's handling her bills, she's handling her money now. How do we know that this is not just her? I won't quote unquote. I'm not going to say allowance. This is her play money, right? This is her clothes, and this isn't her clothes budget. How do we know that she doesn't have a budget for her red bottoms, her Prada, her Gucci? Because the way her brother says he handles her money or make sure she's straight. So maybe he's handling it in the way, okay, you can spend X amount of dollars on this. So we're assuming she doesn't have a budget for this stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm not assuming that at all, and I don't think Gil's assuming that. But I think Gil's thing is, okay, that's fine if you budget, but guess what? You could budget it for less. You don't have to budget yourself for $3,000 for shoes. You could budget yourself, I promise you, with all these shoes you got, you can budget yourself for less. You don't have to get some this month. You could skip a month and do something else with that money. I think that's Gil's thing. He's not saying, nobody's saying that she hasn't budgeted for it, but you could also budget less. It's about your priorities. Like, do you really, it's just like we had a conversation about a personal car. Do you have to get that car now when your car is running fine? Do you have to get some new shoes? No, you don't.
I understand you can budget that. And so when I think as she grows, as she expands, and as they get married, stay married longer, I think her focus and priority will change. She mentioned it because think about when she said kids. I want to make sure my kids are taken care of. So now her priority has to change. Whether the priority is I need to make more money so I can maintain the lifestyle and take care of the kids, or I'm gonna have to slim down on some of this stuff because I'm sure she want a house. So now she's like, okay, now I have to get a house, so my priority has to change to the house. I think as she gets older and as if they stay married, I think sometimes her priorities change. I know some of you may say, man, you're giving her too much credit, but I just think with her brother being around her and the financially stable that he is and him handling her money, that she has in the right path, that she may be moving to the right place. Again.
Me, myself, I think Mirla does what Mirla does.
She does.
And so her brother just adapts to that. He's never told her, hey, you might want to cut the shoe budget down some. He manages her money though. He's like a financial person. I know, but I'm saying, and when that management comes is, let me just do and go along with what she says. I mean, she does have it. And so instead of kind of ruffling some feathers, he just lets her spend what she spends.
I think he tells her. I think he gives her a point. I think he gives her a true analysis and she may not listen.
But same thing. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so then she goes to visit, Mirla goes to visit Gil's place. And first thing she does is, oh, it's water on the floor. The dog is slobbering on the floor. It smells like dog in here. He's like, first of all, it's probably really water. Because I do give him water. Hype needs water to live and drink.
Right.
So he probably just knocks some water. And it smells like dog, like, no, I keep him nice and clean. What are you smelling? No.
Hold on. Look, I know y'all probably said I'm a Miller lover, but if you have a dog and someone who's not used to having dogs, we see the commercial. There's a smell in your house. You may not smell it, but if I'm coming in for the first time, I smell it.
Maybe it's not dog she smells.
But she associated with dog. And you know how it is, you getting his nose what?
His nose, you gone nose blind.
Yeah, you got nose blind. So he's nose blind. She's not nose blind because a new area, a new place.
I bet you though, Gil's had other people in his house, and she probably the first person to say anything.
Again.
Because he was really like, what?
He's nose blind. She smell hype.
He might be nose blind, but she's not the only person that's been to his place. I bet
I'm sure she's not, but I'm just saying. Again, I can see how she say I smell dog. That's all I'm saying.
And anyway, so then the producers are like, she's talking about the dog. Okay, what's Gil's dog's name? And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't remember. And he had said hype. 50 million times. She's like,
if this was Jeopardy, she had ran out of time.
Oh, it's hype, I think. I can't believe I forgot the dog's name.
If this was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, she would have called a friend.
Yeah, it wouldn't have helped.
It wouldn't have helped. She didn't.
Because her friends wouldn't have known because she wouldn't have told them about
the dog. She would have used all three of her lifelines on this one. But anyway.
Also along the dog, he's loving on hype, kissing on the dog. She's like, oh my gosh, you're kissing on the dog. He was like, yeah, that might be like the only kiss I'm going to get. But he was like, one thing about it, I'm not kissing the dog in the mouth. Because she was like, no, we don't do that. We're not kissing on the dog.
I like dogs and like animals, but I'm not kissing them.
I'm not a dog kisser either.
I'm not a dog kisser.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a dog. I'm not a dog lick me in the face person either. But I like dogs, and I'll rub up on a dog. But I'm not gonna kiss. I'm not
a kisser of a dog.
But yeah, the little bit of shade he threw was like, okay. But the other thing that I liked is, like she's got pictures of herself. So then he gives a story. He has a painting of his father, and he's like, it was a running joke in my house. Growing up, he had a picture of Malcolm X Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and himself. And he was like, these are the 4 greatest men in history. And so Gil's like, yeah, he was kind of like you. Like, what? Oh, he had a picture of himself.
Picture of himself at the house, all over the house. So look, man, I like that banter. I like how they go back and forth. Haven't seen.
Yeah, they haven't taken any offense.
They haven't taken any offense. So they're fun loving. They have a nice banter. So I like how they have conversations and they banter back and forth.
Yeah, Pastor Cal comes to see them, and they talk about their banter and how they kid each other and joke on each other.
You have to have fun with your spouse. You have to have fun with your mate. You got to be able to joke around and enjoy each other's company and laugh and play. I think that's important in relationships.
It is, but the one thing that Gil acknowledges is they do play around and kid with each other, but he knows it's some serious topics that they have to approach that they haven't. And I do want to say when Pastor Cal came in, he's like, oh, there's hype, and she was like, yeah, it's the dog that I didn't ask y'all for, that I told y'all I didn't want.
Yeah.
But anyway, so along with them not talking about those other topics, Pastor Cal says, okay, so how are you progressing? Have you talked about money? And they were like, they have, but they haven't gotten in depth with it. Just, maybe her spending habits and how he doesn't have spending habits. And so he says, oh, she got about $70,000 in her closet. She's like, no, I don't. And Pastor Cal was like, Gil didn't even have to say nothing. Pastor Cal was like, sis, how many red bottoms you got in your closet? And she was like, oh, well. He was like, yeah, I don't think Gil's overestimating how much you got in your closet.
I think it's a problem for you to go and look at her closet and guesstimate the price of her closet. That's before you. When we guesstimating the closet, just before you. That's her lifestyle. I'm not sure. I'm just caught up on the lifestyle thing. I'm sorry.
Right. But again, yes, she accumulated this before him, but the fact of the matter is she's not going to stop because she's with him. So he has to take that into consideration. Think, okay, so either I'm going to be okay with my wife to him, what is to him blowing money every month on shoes when you have perfectly good shoes already, or we're going to talk about it and try to adjust fire and compromise.
Right.
Okay, but he says to them, he talked to her about, like, would you consider shopping less? And she was like, but why should I?
Why should I?
What's the reason for me shopping less? And Pastor Cal, I like that Pastor Cal does this because he often, when these kind of conversations comes up, he often reiterates what the other spouse has already said.
Mm-hmm.
And Pastor Cal said, you would shop less because you would want to put that money into something else, to save for something. She was like, but if I'm saving, fine. Why do I need to cut? Because it goes back to what I said. But the question is, do you have to? Yes, you can.
You don't have
but
to.
But do you have to spend $1,000?
I totally agree. But like I said,
she's spending more than $1,000.
But like we talk about again, is them having to get on the same page, having a common goal. What are our goals? Is our goal to, when we leave this luxury apartment, is it to move into a home that we have together? Is our goal to be able to have money to buy real estate? Let's just say that's a goal. Is it a goal is for me to buy 50 million Prada shoes? Whatever case may be, they have to sit down and write it down, have a plan for your finances. And I think now I guess that's my issue with it. They're talking about it, but they haven't sat down and done a plan. Right.
And that's what Pastor Cal says. You have to, the thing about the spending of the money is, you're married now. This is married life. So y'all have to talk about it and come to an understanding and agreement
because
about it.
There's always hesitation when you talk about money. I mean, I even talk about our relationship. When we talk about it, it was hesitation. But when you start putting it on paper and actually see what you're dealing with and what you have and where things can go, it makes that conversation easier. Because you're dealing with hard facts and numbers. You're not dealing with your feelings. And I think Mirla is so much in her feelings about shopping, feeling about looking good, that she feel like kind of like Jose, that feel like on the opposite side of Rachel, that you're gonna stifle me, that I'm not gonna be able to get what I need to get in order to get what I want. So that's one of the differences there.
Yeah, Pastor Cal has a conversation with them about intimacy. You know what's going on there. Has intimacy grown? But Gil says, "Well, I feel like we're at the peak so far." He's like our intimacy, our romance, if you want to call it. He was like, it's a low budget film.
Yeah, but Pastor Cal tells him
that was so funny the way he said it. It's a low budget film.
Pastor Cal said, "Dog, this is not that's not the peak. Hopefully that's not the peak, dog.
Yeah,
that's not where you want to be at. That's not the climax. That's where you're at now. But we want to get to more, and it's okay for you to be where you're at right now."
Yeah.
And they go into a whole conversation about
because
that.
they haven't kissed yet. He's had a conversation with her about kissing. Could it be that we would go through this whole 8-week process? Would you be fine if we went through this whole week process, or would you not kiss me in this whole 8-week process? And she was like, yeah. That's fine with me. And his thing is, which makes sense. Okay, but if you're telling me you like me and we got sexual chemistry and we're growing in intimacy with each other, he's like, if we don't have sex the whole time, that's fine with me. But to not get a kiss the whole time, then I'm questioning, you're saying you're liking me, but I don't get that from the affection you're showing me. Yeah, we hold hands. Yeah, we cuddle. But can I get some lips sometime? We doing a lot of cheeking. And Pastor Cal was like, you can't give him a peck.
Maybe she's not a kisser.
But she said she is.
She should get
Get that man a kiss.
She should get comfortable with him after 8 weeks. I guess 8 weeks.
Not before 8 weeks.
Before 8 weeks, yes. I mean, I think she should give him a kiss, or he should get a kiss. But again, she may not be a kisser. And again, I don't know. And with her,
that's weird to me.
It's weird too. It is weird.
I feel after you cuddle up in the bed with somebody for so long,
he rubbing on you, you rubbing on him,
and you're holding hands for so long, it's only natural, especially if you like them, to give them a kiss. And Pastor Cal was like, what's your drawback? She was like, kissing to me is so intimate and I don't know him that well yet. I'm like,
her drawback, she's stubborn.
But you'll back your booty up on him.
But she's
you'll spoon him in the bed.
She's stubborn. Again, you gotta look at it. She doesn't like to be told what to do. Remember, she said it. I don't like to be forced to do anything. And so with Gil always asking or trying to get it seemed like he's forcing her to kiss him, and she's getting resentment back. She's giving pushback because it seemed like he's forcing her. If he just leaves it alone and don't say anything, she may get comfortable enough to kiss him. If she doesn't like, and I'm just saying from that, she feel like she's being forced.
Well, which I want to add, backtrack a little. She said the more he's kissing on height, the further back it's pushing her kissing him. Which is a side note.
So he needs to stop kissing hype if you want to kiss her.
Which is a side note, but I don't feel like, I mean, unless it is outside of the cameras, Gil is not really pressuring her. And what she said was, she said it more like outside people, not necessarily Gil or people that, like she's had this before, where people pressure her, show your affection a little bit more. And she said what she had to do is, I had to silence the outside voices, and I'm like, I'm gonna do what I'm going to do. And
like my point, she's gonna do what she want to do. Her mind is already made up that I may kiss him when this happens, when we get to know each other even better. I may not kiss him in 8 weeks. So guess what? She's almost kind of manipulating and holding hostage. If you do right, I'll kiss you. It almost becomes a manipulation tool.
And it's almost like what they talked to Ryan and Claire about, where Pastor Cal put in perspective, okay, so what is it that she can do that will make you feel like you love her? So with Gil, it's like, what is it that I could do to make you feel comfortable enough to kiss me? Like, God dog, why I gotta jump through hoops? It's a kiss. Man, actors, people kiss for much less light.
Yeah. Again, people do kiss for much less. I just hope
they sleep with people for much less.
Yeah, I hope she just don't manipulate my man. He don't get a kiss in 8 weeks. I'll feel bad if he didn't get a kiss in 8 weeks.
Bro, he said,
it's a divorce.
If it got to that point, I promise you, on decision day, I'm gonna ask for a divorce, because your actions, your audio don't match your video. You're telling me that you like me, and but I'm not getting that because if somebody likes me, they will give me more affection and love.
They'll give him a kiss, and he's not even wanting sex.
No, he said, I want some kisses.
I just want kisses.
I want some lips.
Translation, I know if I get kisses, right, it's going to lead to sex.
I don't think that.
He knows that if they start kissing him, and they start kissing on each other, that eventually it's going to lead to the sex.
He want to touch them lips because he talked about how she had the nice full lips.
He likes her lips.
He likes her lips.
He likes her lips.
He wants them on his.
He wants them on his, not his cheek.
No.
So how about if she goes for a cheek one time and he just turns his face?
I think she'd be like, why would you do that? Don't do that.
Try that.
Anyway.
Everybody like kisses.
Anyway.
You like kisses?
Yeah, we're going to skip that explosion.
Just ignore me.
Let's go. No, I didn't ignore you. Rachel and Jose. Let's do them. So, Rachel goes to Jose's place.
Yeah.
Man. Well, no, first, the apartment. They're looking at the apartment. They're liking how the apartment is. She's like, oh, we got this, we got that. We got dishwasher. I know Jose really don't like dishwashers. He's like, no, I like to wash my stuff by hand. You know, he's so particular.
He likes to bust suds.
Yeah, they talked about living with each other and having to get used to the fact that she sets 4 alarms. We had a whole discussion about this. I don't understand the point of setting 4 alarms. Just you set, like my alarm, I have it set so the snooze will go off every 10 minutes. So why am I don't set an alarm for 6 and then 6:15 and then 6:30. Like, that's dumb. Put your snooze on there. That would irritate me too. A whole nother alarm. But anyway.
How many times you hit that?
I have it set for that. I know once it hit that third, it goes off at 6, 6:10, 6:20, 6:30. By that time, I've woken up to the point where, like I said, I don't hop right out of bed. I don't. I work myself. I have to wake up more.
No.
And then I'll be like, okay, then I'm going to get out of bed.
One alarm, I hop up. It's one alarm. I don't believe in setting these 4 alarms, reminder alarm to reminder alarm to reminder alarm.
It's not
Look.
For her, I get what she's saying, because I do the same thing, but I don't set no 4 alarms. But it's because if you're not the type of person, like, it takes a minute for you to, like, wake up, get cognizant, to get moving and motivated. So that's why she's setting alarms. Everybody's not the hop out the bed person. I'm not the hop out the bed person.
Set that bad boy across the room, so you have to get up and cut it off, so it's annoying.
Guess what? That don't help neither. I get up and walk over there and turn it off. Walk back to the bed, because I'm not ready to get up yet. Ultimately, my whole goal is I'm not trying to get up at 6. I'm really trying to get up at 6:30.
Hey, I'm a 5.
But I can't set the alarm at 6:30 and get up at 6:30. It just don't work.
I just don't be there to hit the alarm. I'm a 5:20 person. I'm already in the office at 5:20.
Irritating me.
I'm not waking you up. I mean, I'm up at 5:20. I'm gone. So it's like, well, we'll get to that later. At least I do
be doing some of that Zach stuff.
No.
I woke up, my husband wasn't there. We'll get back to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
But, so, Rachel goes to Jose's house, and it's what I thought. I mean, when she goes to the door, I'm like, bro, dude got, like, darn near a mansion. He got the big iron rod stuff on the door. I'm like, God.
Room set off to the side where you got nice furniture.
Listen, this man is not playing about his stuff.
He ain't playing with y'all.
He got the office in there. He got the case with the autographed footballs. He got this, and she was like, then they go in the kitchen. He got his budget board up, and he's like, oh yeah, go take a look at that. I'll be right back. Like, he leaves her in the kitchen to marinate over the budget board, and she's sitting there like, good gosh, this is a lot. This is a lot. We was looking at the numbers too. I was like, goodness.
They're not bad now, but I'm just mad at the camera, the HSA, you know, health spending account. He got his 401k, 70 grand. You know, his debt that he paid off. I mean, it's good. Again, managing, and somebody said, or some post I was looking at, why he have it in his kitchen or at the table? Because that's his house. It's by himself. Now, maybe when he put it in, maybe not have enough visitors. Now, most people don't put their money out where visitors come and look at it.
Right.
Oh, this is the money. This is what you got. And, you know, we just was privy to his board. Mm-hmm. And we don't even know if those numbers were real on the board. So
I don't know, but she was like, you know, he was like, oh, but you have something like this. You got a budget. She was like, no, I don't have nothing like that. He's like, don't worry about it. I can help you with it. I'll get you straight.
That's why she has a problem. She don't have nothing written down.
Well, I don't think she was saying I don't have it written down. It's just probably not to the detail like his.
No, she has no budget. She knows this bill come in, I pay this bill, I want to take this trip, I want to do that. There's no organization to her finances whatsoever. None.
Well, he can help her with that. That's
what
I
he is.
I can help you with that. So he goes to her place, and he's like, off top, I'm tripping over empty water jugs. Like, why is that on the floor? Just if it's empty, get rid of it.
So this is my question. Why did she? First of all, why did she have 5 water jugs? If they just meet in each other's apartment and they came back and they moved to their apartment, that means it was there before you went on.
And that's his point.
You were there before you went on your honeymoon.
That's his point. Why do you have? If it's empty and you're not using it anymore, get rid of it.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
You're not talking about water jugs.
If you're not using it,
you go over top. We're not gonna do that right now.
Get rid of it.
We're not doing that right now. But anyway, she's got a lot of stuff in her closet. Overall, it's not messy, you know. But let's keep in mind, her friend said riding her car. She didn't say nothing about the apartment. So overall, the apartment's pretty well kept. The closet is okay. She says, oh, I get a pencil every time I go someplace. So she's got all these pencils. And he was like, why you got a bowl full of pencils?
He's petty.
That's going to have to go.
That's petty.
We move in.
He's petty. Because it's just no different on a desk for people to have a couple pens. She has a couple pencils. And it just have to be from all the places she's been. He's petty. That's her desk. Leave that alone. That's petty.
He was really like, yeah, this is going to have to go.
That's controlling and petty. I'm sorry.
I like that she said she has a bowl. This was funny too. She has a bowl where she writes down and puts in it places that she like to go. And so I'll just go in and pick it out, and then that's the place I'm gonna go. And she's like, "Can you be that spontaneous?" He's like, "No, I can't. I can't."
Because he wants to count the cost. Well, look, if I don't. First of all, if you broke and you don't manage your money well, and you pull out like she pulled out Japan, $3,000 trip, right? But you don't have $3,000, and you shouldn't be going on this trip. And so she gonna put on a credit card just so she go on a trip, and then working, you're gonna pay for that trip multiple times because you're not gonna pay the credit card off initially. And if you had the money to pay the credit card off, then you would have just paid outright for the trip. So now whatever the interest rate is multiplied on top of the card, and then you can pull another one and go on a trip. So you constantly, I understand it. That doesn't make any sense to me. Taking trips, knowing that you're on a trip and vacation and you don't have the money to be there. Just so your feelings. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, that's what because he mentioned her, because he put in perspective for when it was in the kitchen. Okay, take a trip or buy a new car. Mm-hmm. You saying your car is on the last leg. So why would I spend $3,000 on a trip that may last a week? I can spend $3,000 on a car who may last me a couple years.
But let me put it in perspective. But we don't have a problem with Mirla. That's what I was trying to say with Mirla. What Gil is trying to get her to understand. Okay, yeah, you can use that on them shoes, but where are your priorities at when you could put it on something else? So
if she has a need, though.
You don't have a problem with Jose telling Rachel that, but you got a problem with Gil saying that to Mirla?
If Mirla had a financial issue, Mirla, we don't know if she has a financial issue, so I'm going to assume she's taken care of. She has money saved.
You got a financial issue when you just want to blow money on this. This is just my opinion.
People blow money on restaurants. You don't have money, but you go to eat out and you put on a credit card. How many times you pay?
Eat.
You don't have to put you know how much you got to pay for that. So again,
if
you putting something on credit, you're paying for that multiple times unless you pay your credit card off every month.
But did she? When did she say she put on a credit card?
She said it in the previous episodes that she don't pay for these trips outright.
But I don't mean she necessarily put on a credit card, which is not even better if you get a loan. I'm just saying.
Right. So she's not paying for this flat out in cash. So it's like but you can buy a $3,000 car in cash and still have that car and it still rides and still getting value out of it and then still have saved money for the trip. So that's what he was saying is he doesn't mind taking the trips. Let's plan it, save up for it, and take the trip when we come back. We don't have debt and we enjoy the trip, not worrying about the bills and having it. I have no issue with that. With Mirla, same thing. If you have the cash for it, buy it. I'm not saying not to buy it. If you have the cash, pay for it. Mm-hmm. So if she has the cash to pay for $900 shoes, boom, cash pay for it. Just don't live outside of your means. I guess I'm saying, don't live outside of your means. She living within her means. That's why I don't have an issue with Mirla. And Rachel's living outside of her means because she has debt.
That's the assumption.
No, she has debt.
I mean, yes, she has debt, but that doesn't mean. Well, anyway, that's a whole other story. It doesn't necessarily mean she's living outside of her means, because she might be paying it off. She may not. We haven't gotten all into the ins and outs of her budget.
Right.
Her whole thing is she's not as strict and strenuous as him. That's what I'm saying. I can't say that she's living outside of her means. She's just not as strict and strenuous as him.
True. But Pastor Cal talks about that later, though.
Yeah, because Jose says that's a concern for him is finances. And her concern is finances too, but it's him being tight with her. And being tight with the money. And dictating what I can and can't do with whatever money I have.
They need to get on the same page. Again, if you're trying to eliminate debt and you're trying to get your finances in order, there has to be some type of discipline. We can't just write it down and automatically think discipline is going to take place. You have to follow the plan in order to get discipline. If you want muscles, and it's just like her working out all the time. If you want to maintain or lose weight, a prime example, she lost a lot of weight, right? She had to be disciplined enough to lose all the weight that she lost. So, and she had to get up, she had to go to the gym, she still does that. So in order to get your finances in order, like she got her health in order, she has to be just as disciplined in that area in her life.
But Pastor Cal put it in his perspective too, because what is coming across is, so Rachel's taking trips because she's enjoying life, having a good time.
Right. And
Pastor Cal's like, don't snuff out her fun and her enjoyment.
Right.
Because it's coming across like you're a killjoy, like you don't want me to do nothing. So that's the thing. Okay, you want to help me budget my money, but you also have to allow me to have some good times, some fun times, and to experience life. Because it's coming across like, I don't want to have no life. I just want to get my finance together.
But there's nothing wrong
from Jose.
But there's nothing wrong with the delaying the pleasure, right? To have the enjoyment later. So
that's the issue. She don't want to delay the pleasure.
But he said he didn't want. It's not that he didn't say let's not take trips, because he says let's not just spend a $3,000 trip. Let's take a trip to Vegas or take a trip to somewhere we can afford. Not that he's trying to take away her trips. He's trying to limit it.
But maybe for her, that's not the fun trip for her to go to Las Vegas or whatever. I don't want to go to Las Vegas.
It's not fun for him to have $20,000. I'm just throwing a number, $20,000 student loan debt, and you taking a $3,000 trip where you can take that $3,000 and put on your student loan, or have monthly payments.
Ultimately, Pastor Cal told him you're gonna have to learn how to balance her fun and love for life, and that's why we put y'all together so y'all could balance each other out. So you're gonna have to learn how to balance that. And they talk about the level of affection. Have you consummated yet? Now, the previous conversation, Jose made it sound like, I have to have these boxes checked before I go to that level. I don't know if I'm there yet. And she's talking about, I can't see going a whole weeks and we don't, for whole 8 weeks and we don't get there. The whole conversation, it was sounding like that's not what we're doing. Only for them to sit there and tell Pastor Cal, yeah, we didn't did the do. We had the sex.
We had the sex. They had the sex.
Wasting my time.
No, they had the sex.
No, I'm talking about that conversation.
But maybe they had maybe they had sex after the conversation.
I mean, maybe they did, but the whole thing was you made it like it was a thing.
Like you had to wait for it.
Yeah, and you ain't wait.
They didn't wait.
You ain't wait. This is what, day 10 of marriage. You didn't wait.
They didn't wait. No, they had
Y'all
sex.
did it on the honeymoon.
We did it on the honeymoon.
Did it on the honeymoon. And
I'm not mad at them, but they did it on the honeymoon. But she talked about that. She like, I didn't want it just to be the sex thing.
Yeah,
I wanted to wait.
Because sex can blur. When passion comes in, it kind of blurs your vision, and it can take you all, like, basically what she's trying to say too is once sex get involved, it's like you don't really look at the issues anymore. That can blur your judgment because you're so caught up in the physical that the other stuff is just to the wayside, and she don't want that.
And we all know Jose wanted sex from his marriage. Since he got married, when he got married, he mentioned sexual intimacy and all that.
That's why when you said that on a honeymoon, I was like, you full of it.
He full of it. He wanted sex since day. He wanted sex from day one.
But Pastor Cal said, there should be sparks. Don't put the brakes on it. If it's sparking, let it spark.
Let it ride.
Let it spark. And so, anyway, they had the sex.
They had the sex. So we down to the final couple?
No, we got two.
We got two more.
Yeah, we got two. Let's do Bao and Johnny.
All right, Bao and Johnny.
Okay. So they come to the apartment and he's like, oh, I like it, it's nice. She does start pointing out stuff. I don't like an electric stove. Oh, the refrigerator doesn't have an ice machine. Oh, I wonder is it a vent over the stove? There's no vent.
It's free.
And he's like, I think it's great.
It's free.
And with what she's saying, he's feeling like she's taking the fun out of things. Which the conversation that he has later, I'm like, bruh, really?
Yeah.
But he feels like she takes the fun out of things.
But he's already feeling some type of way anyway. He's already feeling south. So it's not the apartment thing. He's already feeling irritated. He probably irritated on the flight. Oh, by the way, get on the flight. He takes a video of her snoring, and I mean, her little body was. I mean, she was getting it in good.
That is so. I feel like that
wrong.
was so wrong for him to record her after we had a conversation about me being self-conscious about me snoring.
Now the world hear me snoring. That's wrong. It's just wrong. You don't do that to your spouse. Sorry, unless y'all. I mean, it's probably something that she's already insecure about.
I just wonder
if it was just us being funny. Yeah, but I don't.
I just wonder if she was on the Unfiltered. We haven't watched it. If she was on the Unfiltered to talk about this episode. Because if I was her and I was on Unfiltered and I saw how he recorded me snoring on a plane, I promise you, if it's Hurricane K, it'd be Tsunami Bao.
Tsunami Bao. Yeah. It's bad.
Anyway, they talk about the bed, and yes, he's going to sleep in the bed with her, but he puts his little pillow fort. Which, okay, now I'm kind of understanding the pillow fort. It's not so much to separate him from... He likes to sleep in the bed with some protection. Is he scared he gonna fall out of the bed? Like, you grown, you should be falling out of the bed.
Grown man, dog. We ain't falling out of the bed.
Because he put the pillows not just on the inside, it was on the outside too. Oh, and he had one on top of his legs, like between his legs. I'm like, bruh, what in the world is going on? But they talk about the shower thing before bed. Oh, that's your preference, is not mine. He's concerned because he's feeling like, like you said, I think it's him. He said, now when we had these discussions, I always feel like we're on the verge of an argument. It's because you letting it irritate you more than it should.
He's picky. He's too picky.
Yeah. He's picky, but I think it's like you said, once you got to this limit, it's like every little thing is going to irritate you and take you over the top. And so he's at the point now where, and the proof is, he's at the point where every little thing is taking him over the top because he says, I'm going to my own place for the next couple of days.
Because again, like I say, he wants a perfect relationship. It's not going to be perfect. You want a spouse to do this, this, and this. And you have daddy issues. You have abandonment issues. You have perfection issues. You always try to please people issues. It is Johnny, not Bao. Johnny has some issues with Johnny, and Johnny needs to fix Johnny. You know, he goes for a couple of days, go to his apartment, and I need to clear my mind. I don't think I'm going to be here today, and I'm going to clear my mind. What?
Yeah, he says, he tells her after dinner he's going to go to his place to decompress. And because he said he's feeling conflicted about them and all their differences. And she says, I understand you want to go to your place and decompress, but it makes me question your commitment in the process and the effort you're putting forth.
Johnny doesn't want to Bao. Remember Bao said a very first episode that when they met Johnny was into like the high flashing girls or the high, and he ghosted her. He never called her back. Well, he never called her back because he really wasn't into Bao. Bao doesn't fit his type of woman that he likes to deal with. That's why. But
obviously, don't nobody fit the woman he likes to, because if you've been on 100 first dates, again, that says to her, you're the problem.
Yeah, you got 100. He's a problem because he has a list in his mind. And okay, I've run. This doesn't work out. We have an issue here. She parks on the left side of the street instead of the right side of the street. She likes this type of food. Again, it's him. When you're too picky, she's not his type of woman. And so he's ready to run.
Yeah.
And when they meet with Pastor Cal talks about that.
Yeah, but before that, he comes back and he brings her some Thai food for dinner. And some red wine. And the one thing I like, the little vignette with Dr. Pepper, she says sometimes, as couples, we want to get away to gain some perspective, and there's nothing wrong with it as long as you're communicating with one another. And what Bao said was, after he decided to leave, she hadn't talked to him since he left.
Yeah.
And so then here he comes with dinner and red wine.
He just pops in like, hey, here you go. I got red. You know, like he pops in like Chris with Harold's Chicken.
But he does say that the time away was therapeutic and was necessary. It gave him a chance to really think, and it gave him perspective. And he concluded that it's some things that I felt like I couldn't compromise on, but I can. It's not that serious. I can get over it. And that they matched us for a reason, and that I'm not going to just walk away. That's what he says.
Look at my face. He been talking to his mama.
Or the aunt.
Or the aunt. Somebody told him that. Somebody hooked him up and like, look, dog, you need to do this. You need to go get these paychecks. Don't be like that dude from the other season.
Yeah, but she said she's fine with it as long as he's present and he's committed. And, you know.
Bao just she get along to get along, dog.
Yeah.
She's getting along. She just said she didn't want to cause waves. She's getting along to get along.
Yeah. And then we go back again. Of course, they decided they're going to share the bed with each other, whatever. They go to each other's house. Long story short, both of them have a bidet. He says he only has a bidet in his bathroom because he don't want nobody using it.
She got wipes.
She said, yeah, she's got all. She says in his place, it's nice, but he definitely needs a woman's touch. And then Pastor Cal meets with them. And he said he heard they knew each other, they met each other before. And she talks about how she liked him, but she wasn't on his radar because, like you said, obviously Johnny was probably into some different kind of women than she presented.
Yeah.
Because she said I was the nerdy bookworm. And this is what I like what Pastor Cal said. I know you run into some challenges because I talked to you all individually, which we don't always see. So obviously, I don't know if it's just a Pastor Cal checking in with them or they're actually reaching out to say, I'm having this issue.
We've seen this in the past. They're reaching out to him, and we don't always see their conversations. So he knows some of the stuff because they reached out to him, and so he can deal with it on this level. Yeah,
Pastor Cal said, I can tell you that a lot of your challenges and your issues are arising out of fear and not feeling accepted. And basically he's like, y'all, you need to get that together. You need to get that together. Have you had any deep conversations? Yes. But when we get into a deep conversation, Johnny said that's why we have arguments. And so she talks about the conversation they had about her snoring. And then she talks about how she feels like I have to initiate physical touch to get any type of affection, and then just when the bottom falls out.
But you know what? There's nothing wrong with being the initiator. You can be the initiator long as you're not getting too many rejections. And if he initiates and she goes along, what's the problem?
But it's not him initiating; it's her.
But I mean, with her initiating, I'm saying with her initiating, and he goes along, what's the problem? He goes along. This is the issue with him. He goes along just to go along because we talk about it a little bit later. He goes along just to get along. Okay, I don't want to upset her, so he's not really into it.
Because he actually says if there's a lack of attraction. Basically, that's what he says. Sometimes she gets giddy and giggly and like a kid, and he's like, that's a turn off for me. And the more she does it, the less it's not attracted to me. Yeah. Like, it don't make me want to be intimate with you or be physical with you. And Bao's thing is that hurt her again because it's like, this is how I am, and I feel like I should be able to be that way with my partner. I don't let everybody see this side of me because I am the nerdy bookworm, because I'm so serious, because that's what I have to present here. Because probably as a female, an Asian female, you know, I can't let the silliness in me because I have to maintain this appearance, and in the area where I work in, you know, it has to be serious. So I want to be able to let my hair down with the person I'm with, and it's disappointing to her that I can't be my authentic self because you're saying it turns you off. And Pastor Cal's like, you can't do that to her.
It's wrong for. I mean, she wants to have fun. She laughs and giddy.
Yeah.
And that's her way of showing joy. She said, because I'm looking at you and like, oh, I'm with somebody. Yeah. I'm enjoying Johnny. He's a good guy. And remember, she's liked him before, so now it's like the schoolgirl type thing that's coming back up into play. So he has to understand that. But again, he's picky in particular. He wants something a certain type of way. He wants a certain. He's a guy has in his mind a certain type of reaction, and when he doesn't get that reaction from a woman or from a female, it's a turnoff.
But I still, we ain't gonna spend too much time on this. But I'm like, that's weird. That's weird. Pastor Cal said something to Bao about her not getting in her head. Same thing for Johnny. Get out of your head.
Get out of your head.
Get out of your head. She should be able to be silly, and for real, she should be able to be kiddish with you. At some point, yes. Why not? I mean, Anyway, so yeah, Pastor Cal tells Bao, get out of your head, because he can see her. That will make her want to shut down. Okay, so you talking about me with the snoring. Mm-hmm. You're not being affectionate with me. Now you telling me you're not being affectionate with me because I'm being my fun-loving self with you, because I'm enjoying being with you. And in her head now, she's like, okay, I'm starting to I'm turning myself off. And so Pastor Cal encourages Johnny, get giddy with her. So you don't never feel that way. You gotta feel that way on the inside. Let that out some.
Let some of that fun loving.
And if you don't feel giddy on the inside, then check yourself. Why not?
Let some of that fun loving love come out. One thing with Johnny, I do give him credit. He is honest. He's not lying. He's expressing himself.
After the push from Pastor Cal, because he was like very hesitant to say what it was. And Pastor Cal was like, it's because you don't want to hurt her feelings or whatever. He was like, but you got to say it. You got to say it. You don't want to hurt her feelings, but meanwhile you're hurting yours because you're holding it in. Holding it in.
In relationships, you got to be honest, and if the way you do it is tone, pitch, your voice. It's not to be the malicious, but we have to have those tough and difficult conversations at times. Mm-hmm.
So again, Pastor Cal puts it in perspective. This is not Bao's issue. It's yours, Johnny. Get it together.
Get it together, Johnny. Get it together, little Johnny.
And he told Bao, don't diminish yourself. Still be your authentic you.
Don't be Paige.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, Michaela and Zach.
Is this mini Hurricane K? Or what kind of category do we put this on? And this a category. This ain't a category 5 because we see 5 a little bit later.
I'm gonna say it's 1 or 2.
This category 2.
Yeah.
Category 2.
For Michaela and Zach, she's back in Houston. He comes back to Houston. She's packing up her apartment to go into their shared space. He's been telling her he's still testing positive for COVID, even though he's not, because he wants to surprise her. So he surprises her with some flowers and shows up at her place. And she's excited to see her, happy to see her, happy to see each other. And she, even at just 10 days in, and they haven't spent, because he said he's been there 10 days. Yeah. So they're actually a little more past day 10. Mm-hmm. Because if he was apart from her for 10 days, and it's more like it was 11 or 12 days.
Yeah, their timeline's a little off.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. But even in those few days, she already has a picture of the two of them up, a picture that they took. And she said, I had plans to give you a one week anniversary gift. And so she had a whole nice little box for him and a car. It was very sweet and thoughtful. You know, he was like, oh, wow, you had a gift for me, whatever.
It was nice. It was a nice box that she had.
So they move into their apartment, and she has her his dog Bella and her dog Nova, and they pretty much play nice. But then they do some nipping, but it's not like Baxter and Maisie at all.
No, it was just playful nipping.
And for her, this is her first time moving in with a man. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to take her some getting used to. So that's how we leave that. Well, then the next day, we see
they have a conversation first about how they're going to handle arguments and disagreements.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm about to get to that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Are you the type of person to walk away? She's like, no, that's like petty. I would never do that.
That's manipulation.
It's manipulative. You know, you got to be in it and deal with it, whatever. So anyway, next day, 7:15, we see him in the kitchen, and then he leaves. Then we see an hour later, she comes in the kitchen. He's nowhere to be found.
She's looking for him again.
She's looking for him. Him and Bella are gone. And she says he never said anything to her. She called him and she texted him and got no response. She's hot.
because she felt abandoned. And doesn't make it right. She feel like he abandoned her. Again, as a guy who communicates, and you send a text message back, I'm good. Here, this is where I'm at. You send a phone call back.
But you know what
I'm
else?
good. But if you leave, and this is what I do. I get, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I'm an early person, morning riser. So if I got to be somewhere at 6:30, if I got to be somewhere at 6, if I got to leave in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to where I need to be at, I always, even if you're middle of sleep, kiss you on the cheek. Hey, I'm going. Talk to you later. When I figure that you up after your multiple snooze alarms go off, I'll send you a text and be like, hey, by the way, I'm up. So, no shade.
All the shade.
No shade.
But anyway, all the shade, because we was not talking about alarms. So
No shade.
next, but yeah, so the other thing that I thought about, which Pastor Cal puts it in perspective for Zach later, but the other thing I thought about too is not even so much the abandonment, but let's keep in mind that her father got killed by a drunk driver. So it was probably that he left that morning and he never came home because he got killed. So not even just so much as you left and you're not coming back, like, but you're still alive, but you left and you're not coming back, like you're not coming back.
And I'm worried.
And yes, it's worry and concern over your well-being.
She overreacted. I'm not giving her a pass. All right?
No, but I'm just putting it into perspective. So it's those twofold things. It's like abandonment, like you left me, and like you actually physically left me.
Yeah. But she still don't get a pass the way she reacted.
No. Yeah, it was a bit much. So he does come back. They're sitting on the couch. It's tense. He's on one end, she's on the other, trying to talk.
I didn't think you could get any further than Haley and Jake on the couch. But if he could have sat across the other side of the room, or she could have sat outside across the room.
Oh, like Michael and Mika.
Oh yeah.
They sat on two different pieces of furniture.
Yeah, it would have happened, right? But and she's highly upset. She's smoking like Mike Tyson. Zach does the thing. Oh, come on in.
Because that's what I forgot. Oh, hold on. That's what I forgot. Because when she couldn't find him when he left, then she packed up her stuff and she left. So apparently he came back before her, because she said she came back for the meeting with Pastor Cal.
Yeah, she should have brought her stuff back, which I don't know why she packed her stuff up and left, like, again, insecurities.
What she said was, she said, you have this level of independence that you exerted, and so, in turn, I exerted mine. I packed up my stuff and I left. And she said her thing was, you said you were putting the dog down. You were coming to bed. You never came to bed. I woke up the next morning. My husband still wasn't in bed with me. And so we spent, that's what it was. She said after 8 days apart, they've been apart for 8 days. How could you not then come and get in the bed with your wife, or at least tell me where you are? Or not leave before speaking to me.
I'm 8 days away from my wife. I'm not laying with a dog.
And that's her point too.
Not trying to be funny. He 8 days away from his wife, and he lays with the dog because the dog couldn't sleep.
Yeah, he said he fell
What does
asleep.
that say about he fell asleep? I understand that. I used to do that with my daughter. Weeks ago, I would take her to bed, and I'm holding a little handle across the crib, and I'm sleeping on the floor. I understand that, but I'm make sure I'm trying to get up and go to the bedroom. 8 days apart. Sorry.
But he said he had to get up at 7 and take Bella to daycare, and her thing was, you never communicated. And he was like, look, I know you're mad.
Doggy daycare.
But it was a reason behind it. It wasn't like I just left you on purpose, like I wasn't coming back. And she said she felt like it was intentional. Why didn't you text me back? All of that. And like I said, she told him, you make decisions on your own. You only take yourself into consideration. And so she was like, it can't be like that now. So since you acted like that, I did that. And he said, it's funny that you would have left, because we just had this conversation that you said that's not what you would do. Mm-hmm. And you turn right around and do it. And he said that's a red flag for him, because he's been in situations like that before, that she made a rash decision. It's not sitting well with him. And then they have a whole thing about, I said I came back at 9:15. She said you came back at 9:15 live. But she had some expletives in there. And he said, look, I've reached my limit talking about it. And ding dong, Saved by the Bell, Pastor Cal is there. And he came right in time. Pastor Cal notices, wow, it's tense, what's going on here? You left, you didn't say nothing, and he said, you know, he's like, we just had an argument. And she says, I see that you match with somebody that's as challenging, dynamic, and strong. And Pastor Cal says, as you. We match somebody that matches your energy when it comes to that. And so he says, you know, Zach's like, you know, we had an argument and everything, but the argument doesn't change how I feel about her. And meanwhile, she's looking like,
whatever.
Rolling her eyes, squinting like, really? That's what you're saying? And Pastor Cal, Zach knows, and Pastor Cal said, well, what you making that face for? Because she was like, I don't trust that. I don't trust that. You're saying that it's not going to change. It doesn't change how you feel about me, but you left me. And that's when Pastor Cal puts it in perspective. You got to... She said, my dad was my provider. He always looked out for me. When something happened with my dad, I had to take care of myself. I had to stick for myself. And so now I have this man to come in that should be taking up the space for my dad where I won't have to do it. And I'm letting my guard down to let you do that for me. And at the first chance, I feel like you let me down.
I feel like you let me down, but not communicating. And again, it's a simple communication. It's communication, it's communication, it's communication. She feel like you let him down. Communicate, even leave a note on the kitchen table. Leave it. It's something that he could have been did. It could have been done. She overreacted by leaving. She could have communicated again, called him again, look, and tell him her fears. I'm worried because my dad left, and this, and this. I'm worried because again, communicate why are you feeling the way you're feeling, and understand. Let the person understand. He could have told her, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I'm my bad. I tried to. I could have. You know, I won't let it happen again.
But even when he did that, when Pastor Cal put it in perspective for Zach, look. She's trying to fill this void where her dad was. She feels let down, you know, abandoned. You know, she's looking for a protector, and she gets up in the morning, it's like, where's my protector? And, you know, she's teary because he talks about, you know, the thing with her dad. And Zach tries to reach for her, and she kind of like jerks back.
She's hot, though. She's mad because, again, it goes back to that trust factor. Don't touch me now because you didn't protect me then. Mm-hmm. You didn't provide for me then. So now you're going to have to build this trust back up in order for me to allow you back in. Now, eventually she does because he's patting her back, whatever the case may be. Maybe that's because Pastor Cal was there. He assured her that everything's going to be okay. But she has to relax. And I know that he's not out to hurt her. Mm-hmm. That he's there to protect her. And there in this marriage, there are going to be some things that go wrong. He may get upset with you. You may get upset with him, but don't leave. And express your concerns. If you wanted him to come to bed with you that night, wink, wink, whatever the case may be. If you just wanted to cuddle or you just wanted to be there. You know what? Zach, I need you to be there. Or, Zach, when you lay Bella down, can you please come?
But she did have that conversation. He said he was coming back. Okay. His thing was, I fell asleep. I intended to, but I fell asleep. But anyway, so Pastor Cal had actually initiated the move. You go sit by her, comfort her, and like, you know, she kind of withdraws, and he was like, don't do that. Let him comfort you. Let him be there for her. And he was like, nope. It's fine, whatever, the moment's passed. Pastor Cal's like, no, the moment hasn't passed.
He can't be like
you can't be like that, because in this moment, understand all the emotions that she's going through. Guys, even females sometimes don't do that either. You got to understand all the emotions that this person is going through. Even if that's not how you feel, understand that's how they feel.
Understand the feelings of a person. I had to learn that because I'm a person where...
Still learning.
Still learning. Because I'm like, okay, let's get over this move. Let's move on. Let's get over it, move on. And then there's been moments where she has to decompress and allow herself to share or whatever case may cry or do whatever. And you just got to be there. And just got to be there supportive and listening.
Yeah, she says, I do want you to touch me. I do. I just don't know how to receive it. Like you said, really, I'm mad. I'm hurt. I'm upset right now. So I want you to touch me. But at the same time, like, I'm trying to get over this. Mm-hmm. But anyway... Pastor Cal said the moment doesn't pass in a marriage. You have to get past this stuff. You have to adapt. And, you know, just do better.
Do better.
And finally, she does let him comfort her. And then I feel like it's only to a degree, because then she kind of sits up. Like,
it's only to a degree. I mean, hopefully they can get past this. And she'll get past it and she bring her stuff back in. And, you know, be like Vincent, who gets set in the car for a day or a couple hours and then come back. But I hope she gets past it, because to me, she blew this out of proportion.
Yeah.
And she blew it out of proportion. I understand, but she blew it out of proportion when she left. Communication is the key. Sit there, wait for him, be mad, send a note. There's some things that he could have done better.
Absolutely.
And there's some things that she could have done better. And if they're both going to the extremes on something this simple, their marriage is not going to work out. Because this is a small issue.
Yeah, this is just category 2.
Yeah, this is category 2. This is a small issue. And again, he has to be willing to go the extra mile, even if it's kind of against his manhood, to make sure that his wife is comfortable. All right? And he got to understand that. So, no shade with the alarm clock. Love you, though.
Anyway, so that's where we end with Michaela and Zach. Hopefully they can get it together at least for the next 8 weeks.
For the next 6 weeks. Oh, we're going to see Hurricane 5, just based off the previews. But we're going to see how it is. Oh, let's see. This is category.
Yeah, but we'll see what makes
category
the explosion
2
go.
Category 2 does damage as well, so this done a little bit of damage to the relationships. Category 5 destroys things.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hey, thanks for commenting in the comment section. Make sure you Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you don't miss any of our reviews. Once again, make sure you check out our Matrimony Thoughts podcast on iTunes, where you can leave a 5-star review. And check out the Jac and Glen merch in the description. And leave a comment in the comment section about this episode at Married at First Sight. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.